What's up, guys? This is my 2009 VOIX Dodge Viper. It's from the 10th annual Viper Owner Invitational that was hosted in 2008. The car is a 2009 model. It's number 56 out of 100 that they made. I had it shipped from Texas to New Jersey. The car was originally silver with black racing stripes, and I had the entire car repainted by Chapin Customs. We did the entire exterior, basically took every panel off the car, door jambs included. I went with Grigio Medio, which is a Ferrari color off of the 458 model, and I did a lot of modifications on the car. I'll start with showing you guys a bunch of the front end modifications. For the front end, I went with the APR Performance carbon fiber canards and also the carbon fiber front lip. Underneath the front lip, I had a custom splitter made by Galvez Customs out in New Jersey, full aluminum, and it actually goes till under the engine. And I went with the APR Performance hardware with a red tow hook that you could get from theviperstore.com, and custom LED fog lights made by Pelux. And then under the engine bay, I have the K&N cold air intake system. Those were real easy to install, bolt-on setup. All the other modifications done under the hood, I had the help of my local friends, local shops, do the modifications for me. I'll start with the steel braided oil lines. You could get those from Viper Specialty Performance, and those were installed by Dominant Engineering. At the same time, he also installed the American Racing headers. I went with the 1 3/4 long system to a 3-inch out, and those are connected to a Corsa Performance exhaust system. I also have Downstar hardware. And then moving on to the side of the car, we'll start with the wheel setup. These are often confused for BBS LMs. They're actually a lot more rare. They are called the BBS E28s. They're magnesium wheels, and I had them redone by Dominant Engineering. They were originally powder coated textured black face with gloss black lips, but wanted to change up the look of the car, so I went with a bronze setup. So textured bronze centers, polished bronze lips, polished bronze bolts. The front wheels are 19s, and I have them wrapped in Michelin Pilot Super Sports 275/35 19s. For the suspension, I went with the BC coilovers, and the reason why I went with the BC coilovers, I wanted to get the car pretty low. As you can see, it's I could barely stick my fingers right underneath the front fenders, and BC was the only coilover company that guaranteed I'd be able to get it as low as I'd like. I've been pretty happy with the way that the car drives. I have them to the stiffest setup because the issues that I ran into the rear with the drag radials, when I didn't have it on stiff, and to keep it at the height that I currently have it at, if I didn't have it at the stiffest setup, the car would bottom out and it would cause the tire to rub the quarter panel. And this is actually the reason why the car changed colors. I had a bad accident taking the car home from the first person who did the wheel setup. The car was way too low. I knew it was way too low, but the guy who set up the car said, listen, the car's set up right, like it's gonna drive fine. It didn't even make it home from the shop. The car bottomed out so hard on the turnpike that it actually blew a hole in the rear quarter panel. It was a disaster. One thing after the other. While that was actually still damaged, I still drove the car, and that's actually the reason why the front splitter goes so far back on the front end. I must have been going over 100 on the highway, and because there's no extra support underneath the front bumper, while I was going, must have been 100 something, the air caught the lip and literally disintegrated the lip, that I saw the pieces of the lip flying up, and it ripped the mounts off the front bumper. So at that point, the front bumper was messed up, the front end was messed up, the quarter panel was messed up. Took it to the body shop, they gave me the quote, and I was like, you know what, for the price I'm going to pay to redo the car, because silver is incredibly hard to match. They were saying that they were going to have to fade so many different parts of the car. I knew I wasn't going to be happy spending that much money with different panels not correctly matching, that I ended up just deciding to completely change the color. For the rest of the side of the car, I went with the APR Performance carbon fiber side skirts. You can see the Corsa Performance muffler right there. That's the entire Corsa Performance exhaust system. And actually the exhaust system to the headers are actually two-piece headers. I had everything ceramic coated because with the Vipers, the cabins get extremely hot from the exhaust system. So the ceramic coat did bring down the heat a little bit. Nothing too significant. I would thought it would actually drop the temperature down a little bit more than it did. For the rear wheel tire setup, I went with M&H Racemaster drag radials. The rims are 18-inch compared to the fronts that are 19-inch. And for the size for the drag radials, I went with 325/40 18s. Now moving on to the back of the car. To keep the carbon fiber theme going, I have carbon fiber rear mud guards. You could get those from Viper Parts Rack. And keeping the carbon fiber going into the rear, this was actually a lot more custom than most people think. Because I had the car completely repainted and I actually had to get a new rear bumper, what I did was to be able to have the carbon fiber rear diffuser right here, while the car was unpainted, my guys over at Carbon Fiber Element actually, it's a full fiberglass rear bumper, and what they did was they laid carbon fiber just in these areas over the rear bumper before the car was sprayed. So just this area was overlaid in carbon fiber, and then they painted the car. So it's actually just one piece. Some people think that it's two pieces, but it's actually just one entire piece. So carbon fiber overlaid for that bottom. And then Galvez Customs also made a custom rear diffuser. The stock diffusers that came with it, I actually had those converted into carbon fiber too from Carbon Fiber Element. But they were really short. They were actually probably half the size of these diffusers right now. Galvez Customs, it was actually his input. He said from the rear end, it would be cool if you could see the diffusers just by standing in the back of the car without having to bend over and look at them. They stick out further and they go further into the car. So now we'll go into the interior of the car. Did a few modifications in here. Kept the carbon fiber theme going on the interior. Again, Carbon Fiber Element completely redid the entire dash of the car. Rather than doing just the easy carbon fiber overlay, which is like a 3M sticker on carbon fiber that you stick on the dashboard and different panels, we actually disassembled the entire interior, and all the panels that could be wrapped in carbon fiber were completely wrapped. In addition to doing all the panels custom done in carbon fiber, I also did a Pioneer sound system, upgraded all the speakers, and Chapin Customs, who painted the car, when I got the car back, he's like, I also did some interior trims. So things like the door handle right here, he color matched the exterior. You could also see the shift knob and the bezel for the shifter were also done to color match the exterior of the car.